Maybe this is the last question. What's your, this is your first, visit to Oman. What's your impression about Oman and the people in Oman and the situation in Oman, and what's your,
Well, let me be very frank. First of all, Oman is a beautiful country. It has its own challenges, of course, but an absolutely beautiful country, well-disciplined people, conservative, moderate, inviting, warm, resourceful, very clean. However, unfortunately, most of the knowledge that we Muslims in America have received about Oman and the Ibadhi perspective has come from Saudi Arabia or Egypt or other Gulf states, and I would say 90% of our information has come from there, through their books, through their scholars, and may Allah reward them for whatever they are doing correctly. May Allah reward them for their preservation of the Haramain. May Allah reward those scholars for imparting knowledge in the Aqidah to Muslims around the world. However, I can say they have planted in the minds of the Muslims of the world that the people of Oman and the Ibadhi perspective and their scholars, that they're somewhere between the Khawārij and Shia. And so this is the predominant idea. Well, with my own research, I know that to be false. I know that to be unethical and a slander and a subversion of the Ibadhi perspective and their scholars. While me, I am a student of the Mذhب, and my preference among those Mذhب is that of one of Sheikh Ahmed ibn Hanbal. That is my preferred exposure, while I'm taking from all of them according to what I believe to be the correct dalail. I did some research on the Ibadhi perspective, the Mathhab AL Ibadhi, and I do not find them having very much difference with the other schools, except in issues which is not even a part of the Shara'it.
Yeah.
So if we pray with them and sit with them and talk with them and listen to them, wallahi, we see very small differences, and those differences are historical, political, and just a matter of preference. Imam Malik, rahmatullah alayhi, the Imam of Medina, he had his own distinction. Abu Hanifa had his own distinction. Imam Shafi had his own distinction. And Sheikh Ahmed ibn Hanbal, they have their own distinction, whether they raise their hands or they put their hands on the chest or at the side, whether they point in doing the tahiyyat or they do not. These are all furu', these are small things. If you do it or you don't do it, it does not invalidate the prayers or the worship. We face the same qibla, we eat the halal as the halal, we read the same Quran, we have love for all the companions of the Prophet and kulluhum, and therefore we should respect all the scholars of all the perspectives. And what I will do is I will do my best to be a window to the rest of the world and the people that I meet with, to correct these misconceptions and distortions about the people have about Oman, and especially about the Ibadhi perspective. And Allah, He's the best knower, inshallah.